Today, we have another musical guest on this show, and I feel the need to introduce him in a, hip-hoppy kind of way. So let me try and do this. Ladies and gentlemen, all the way from Nairobi, yeah. Please put your hands together for my brother from another mother. Yeah. I'm running out of things to say. Ladies and gentlemen, Astar. Astar.
That I like the intro, man. we're gonna start this off with a little bit of music. The name of the song is Nimechoka, and it's Swahili, and it means I'm tired.
Nkoi. Uganda. Yeah.
Nkoi in Uganda. Okay, the song goes like this. Hope you enjoy it. Hip hop rapping. Yo, maisha ngumu Nairobi City, I accept defeat. Nilianguka lakini Mungu put me back on my feet. Now I'm taking this a step by step. Fresh start, I'm not afraid to take a step back, afraid to express. Yes, maisha ni poa now I'm living with him. Vidole mbili kama for the silly sasa nimechill. Yes, God bless kila mtu. Blacks wazungu, Kushites, Nilots, I can't forget the band too. Singe imagining it feel this way. Asante sana Baba Mungu, you have shown me the way. Nimetoka mbali sana na mbali naenda. Nimechoka kutembea nyuma mbele naenda. Yes, singe imagine I've been singing this song. See, I was sinning and the life that I was living was wrong. I was drinking, smoking, I was getting it on. I was driving drunk, lost, but now I'm finally home.
Show me your light.
Dear Lord, please show me your light. Cause the way that I'm living ain't right. No matter what they say,
I gotta be fine.
Said I gotta be fine.
Cause nimechoka.
Dear Lord, I'm so tired of life.
Nimechoka.
Verse 2. Yo, Mola wangu, this is my confession. Where should I begin? Maisha ni ngumu Nairobi, driving me to sin. Nimefanya vitu baya, help me Messiah. Jesus, you're the truth, the devil is a liar. Kama Kanye West, I'm speaking through the wire. Music is the gift to many patia co-inspire. Lakini Mungu, I've been using in vain. Abusing, I've been using it to get me some fame. All the things that you have given, I've just given you pain. All the sins that you've forgiven, I keep doing again. Baba Mungu, please forgive me, teach me how to forgive. Give me strength so I can walk with you and I can achieve. Asante sana Baba Mungu for the things that you've given. You have opened up my eyes and you have shown me the vision. You have taken from a boy, you've made me into this man. You have given me the gift. Put this mic in my hand. Yes. Dear Lord, please show me your light. Cause the way that I'm living ain't right. No matter what it takes, dear Lord, said I gotta be fine. Cause nimechoka. Verse 3. Yo, Lord, I'm trying to put my foot to the door. I can't take this no more. Yes, I believe, but I find it hard to let go. Chupa chini, no more sipping, yani nimequit. But every time I hear that sound, I wanna sip. Mola wangu niambie. Tell me what to do to change. Should I change the friends I have, or should we all together change? Change, sirahisi Mungu change ni ngumu. Lakini ukinisaidia, I will pull through. I'm scared to step in the church, I'm tempted to touch. Mungu nakuhitaji, I need you so much. Michael Jackson moonwalk, help, I'm backsliding. Mungu weni moja moema, could you guide me? All my life I've been about the carnivore, but chilling home with weekends, man's there in a bro. Mungu nisaidie, please give me the strength. Mungu nisamee, I'm begging for forgiveness. Dear Lord, please show me your light tonight. Cause the way that I'm living ain't right. No matter what it takes, dear Lord, said I gotta be fine. Cause nimechoka. Dear Lord, I'm so tired of life. One more time. Dear Lord, please show me your light tonight. Cause the way that I'm living ain't right. No matter what it takes, dear Lord, said I gotta be fine.
So when they point to say, ladies and gentlemen, on the guitar, and the guy just sort of does some crazy stuff, and
No, man. But I actually met him. I met him yesterday. We actually got. So Uganda's got some mad talent. Introduce yourself, man.
I'm Lujiang Timothy.
Lujiang.
Yes,
that's an interesting name, man.
Yes.
Interesting name. Thank you very much, Mr. for coming through.
Thank you.
First of all, I think musicians can get away with anything.
We can get away with anything.
Yes.
What do you mean by that?
I was watching a musician yesterday, and I was like, I'm just going to come and tell you you've been fired from your job. Till be okay. Let's try it out, yeah? I need him to sing a line like you've been fired from your job.
I've been fired from my
No, just sing you have been fired. Just sing anything you've been fired from your. Just say you've been fired from your job.
Fired from my job, no.
And it seems okay. Like it seems okay. It seems okay. You can count. I mean, it just seems alright. Like I just.
I've got one.
Yeah.
You've got to go.
It's like you say those things. Like I mean, it seems okay. You guys can get away with anything. It's so unfair. The world is changing.
Do they actually get away with anything?
I think they get away with a lot of stuff. being a musician, but we'll let me talk to you about being a musician. Where did you come from? Where did you start from?
First of all, my stage name is Astar.
Yeah.
Not people call me Astar or Astar. Astar means the light that leads to the light, like the star that led the wise men straight to Christ.
Yeah.
And it comes from the Bible verse Matthew 5:16, which says, "Let your light shine so that people can see good things that you do with your life, and instead of praising you, but not praise you, they praise the Father in heaven."
Yeah.
So that's what Astar. That's how Astar the musician came across. I've always loved music from the moment I was born. I'm one of those people who, I'm sure in the umbilical, in the womb balls, just there partying. I've always had a passion for music, but it's crazy how what God did. So I was born well-off family, actually pretty decently financially well-off. So a lot of the gospel, which I didn't relate to a lot of the gospel because a lot of the preachings was about
You're poor.
come to
and get
Christ
rich.
if you need money.
Yeah.
I was like, if I need, I go to my daddy. If I need, So the gospel didn't really make sense to me. However, the gospel is relevant for anybody. Doesn't matter whether you're rich, poor, black, white. Doesn't matter. So again, I had this passion of music. I was a producer, produced for a lot of secular musicians in Kenya back in the day. We opened up a club, Zigzag. So it was crazy. Then
You owned the club.
Yeah, a place where people go and drink and enjoy life and all those. You know what I mean? Enjoy life in quotes.
Yeah.
Anyway, in 2000 so my parents sent me over to South Africa for university. After that, I came back and they shipped me over and put me in a bank, and I hated it. I was making good money, but I hated what I was doing. I hated it, passionately hated it. So one day I went to the it's called Mombasa. It's by the beach, where you go and have party. And for 2 months, I used to wake up, get drunk, sleep. Wake up, get drunk, sleep, because my grandfather owned a hotel there. Then one day I woke up and I'm like, I'm done. I can't. I went to the beach and I sat down and I'm like, no, my parents were saved. I'm like, God, something has to change today. I either get saved, because I knew God existed, because my mom used to talk about God. In fact, my parents used to tell me, if you get raptured, you're going to be alone here. I'm like, sweet, I'll have your car, I'll have your money, I'll have everything. But that day I talked to God alone. There was no pastor, there was nobody, and I told God, okay, God, I know you exist, but I'm upset with you, I'm pissed off with you, because you put a passion for music in me. I love music. But I'm not happy. So I want to think. God told me, then get saved. I'm like, okay, I'm saved. I believe that Jesus is Lord. Then I'm like, okay, but I have conditions for you. I want to be happy, and I want to pursue the passion that you put. This was 2005. And so I got saved.
At the beach.
At the beach, alone. It's a crazy story. And then God told me, okay, that's God. So now what do I do with this passion of music? And he told me, I want you to rap. I'm like, what? Now you have to understand, I had done everything else in music. Produced, marketed for people, played piano, DJ'd, but I never rapped. I'm like, Mungu sina sauti ya kuongea. I'm hopeless, on the cordless, I am skillless. God told me, like he told Moses, who gives man his mouth? Who makes him deaf or dumb? I am the great I am. Put this mic in your hand. Speak to my people. Go when I say go. Flow when I say so. Stop when I say no. Know that I'm the truth and know that I am able. Never say impossible. It's possible with Jesus. So blessed. Oh yes, Jesus Christ, so fresh. And that was the first conversation I had with God. And that became my biggest single. So it was crazy. So till today I say I can't rap. I tell people I can't rap. I did the one thing that I needed. God told me to do the one thing that I needed him to do. If I'd become a producer, I could have said it was all me. If I'd become a DJ, I could have said it was all me. But God told me, you become a rapper, because through rap...
So I know you can't rap.
I know you can't do this, and you know you can't. Not even I know. He knows I can rap, but I know I couldn't do it. Yeah, and so that's how I got saved a few years ago, and it's been an amazing journey. It has its ups and downs, struggles. It's a normal Christian life walk.
Yeah, okay. Tell me about CTA.
CTA is an initiative that I have. It's called Cleaning the Airwaves. It's another crazy story. So what happens in 2008, after 3 years of starting this music, I started in 2005, got saved. 2006 is when I officially started rapping. 2008, I became the most nominated African musician and I was put on a platform called the Core Awards. In fact, they flew us over to Benin, and I was categorized for Peace Square. In fact, I was with some of the Ugandan musicians, Clear Cut, Navio, and The Myth. And when I was there, I asked a question about we went to meet a king, and I was like, your gift actually brings you before kings, like a real life king, like he's a king, he's a king, you know. So the king, it was time to ask questions, and I asked the king, what do you do to prevent negative music from entering your country? And the king told me, and we had a 30-minute conversation. And then the next day, the organizer came and told me, I like that question you had. I'm going to take you to meet the president of Benin. So I went to meet the president, and always before, I used to think that when my gift brings me before a king, it will be time for me to get them saved. No, shut it to get saved. So I met him, and he was already saved. And I was like, okay, so what do I conversate about? And so that day I went home, and what do I converse about? Nothing like conversate. Yeah. And I went home, and that day, I told God, I need an initiative. I need something that if I ever come before people, not only will I tell them about Christ, but I'll tell them about your values and things. And God told me, talk about the power and the influence of music. And he gave me Clean the Airwaves. And Clean the Airwaves is simply about that, making sure that the airwaves has educative content, entertaining content, positively entertaining, and enrich people spiritually. What do I mean by that? If people are feeling down, inspire them, give them hope. If people, because there's so much negative stuff on the continent, and garbage in, what you watch with your eyes and what you listen with your ears enters you, it forms you. So you can't watch naked chicks on TV every day and expect your daughter to be any different if that's what she's watching every day. You can't listen to people talking vulgar and negativity every day and expect to be a positive person. It doesn't work like that. So my purpose in life, the reason I am alive, the reason I exist, John 19 verse 30, when I die I will say it is finished. And what is that? It is finished. What is that purpose that Astar has? It is to make sure that the airwaves across the whole of Africa, not just Kenya, not just Nairobi, not just Uganda, Kampala, but across the whole of Africa, because this is the light, this is the continent of the light. We're no longer the dark continent. That we have, that positivity spreads across the whole of the world. Africa is a hope for the world. And if people don't know that, now you do. Now you do.
Well, thank you very much, Esther, for coming through. You're going to be with us throughout the entire show. I'll talk about something absolutely interesting. We're going to talk about, I'm going to need to pick your brain on manliness.
The thing that I wanted to ask before you start going into other things is why is Esther in Uganda?
Well, that's
because he's not a Ugandan musician.
He likes our chicken.
So
before we go, why are you in Uganda?
I've come to Uganda to do a concert next Saturday at Gatomato.
Yes.
I'm going to have, I've been Uganda many times and I love Uganda. Oh man, it's if I was not Kenyan, I'd be Uganda. And then from Kuwait. Anyway, I've come to Uganda to do a concert. It's called The Lockdown. It's a free concert. It's going to be on Saturday, this coming Saturday, from 7 onwards, and it's live band. So I'm here. The reason why I came early, first of all, to connect with influential people in the media industry like you, but then also to just practice, because music is about excellence, and people have to understand that the gospel musicians are excellent at what they do. And when we present the gospel, not only does it have to be excellent in what we preach and what we say, but also in the quality. So I'm here to get ready for that show. It's called The Lockdown.
Okay.
Yeah.
We shall be there.
We shall be there.
We'll be at The Lockdown. But we'll be coming back talking about manliness. And that's as best as I can put it right now.
I think it's time for me to leave.
And let's have DJ Tony be playing us some music in just a bit, doing his own version of CTA, playing some cool music. You're watching NTV GXP. Of course, feel free to get in touch with us on Facebook, on Twitter. Our Facebook address is NTV GXP. Our Twitter handle is NTV_GXP. Good morning.
Dear Lord, please forgive me for the times that I did, the times that I said that I did, but I didn't. Hustling for paychecks, I did it for my gain. Blinded by the success, I did it for the fame. No dough, no go, freebies, no more, no money, no C, no G's, no show. I stepped on stage for a couple of G's, but I didn't spend a couple minutes down on my knees. Lord, please forgive me for doing it over.
It's an exciting show, and we're talking about men, manliness. Now, back in the day, men had a formidable reputation to uphold, and being a man was about being strong and being able to endure, all sorts of things, being able to kill a lion with your bare hands, and, just have this scent, or, just that sort of signified that you had moved, from puberty, and, could now hold your own with ladies. Or was that circumcision? Now, to be a man was to be, self-assured and driven. But now, a preacher called John Eldridge, author of Wild Heart, deduces that most Christian men now are, and I quote, a pitiful, wimpy bunch of really nice guys. I'm going to be talking a bit about that. I see the look on Astar's face. No, but he said he wrote a book called Wild at Heart. I don't know if you've seen it in the library somewhere or read it. And he said men have lost their hearts, men and the men that the Bible sort of documents and puts down and leads us to be. Now he wasn't advocating for the macho man, but he was saying we've lost along the way. We've become the it's like, so I'm going to pause the question, and if you're out there, we need you to call us right about now and let us know if you think there are real men still existing. Our numbers will be coming up on the screens in just a bit, and you can give us a call. Are there real men? We have Ace in the studio. We also have Dr. Deo Kizito, and he's from the charismatic movement from Christ the King Church. Yeah. And so, question: do you think real men are existent today? Because lots of people say, see, we have the real men gone. Yeah. So I'm going to break it down. Do you think real men are existent today?
I totally believe that real men still exist. I'm happy to be on your show. Yeah. I'm Dr. Kizito Deo, and I love Christ. I also love to be a man.
Yeah.
And nobody can call me less than a man.
Yeah.
So real men still exist. And I still
do you think that's the majority or the minority of men?
It also depends on what you must know what a real man really is. Then you can be able to decide whether we have a minority.
Yeah.
Or meaning that we real men are in a minority.
Yeah.
But they are real men. Now, you have to look at a man in two major dimensions, and then you look at the second dimension, you divide it into different groups. The first is what God made a man to be.
Yeah.
That's the first. The second one is what society looks at what a man should be. And in the society, we have the contemporary society. We also have the traditional society. And
we'll come back to those traditions just a bit. Astar, Kijiji, go on the tights.
Yeah, I see you listen to songs.
Do you think real men still exist?
Definitely real men exist. In fact, one of the reasons why, again, I'll go back to Clean the Airwaves, is because we only show what makes news and what makes headlines is those catchy, disgusting stories. We never have stories about men who are doing wonderful things in society. There are so many real men. It's just that their stories are not being put out on media. But I'm also going to agree with you. There's a new generation of men who are just not men anymore. You get what I mean?
Yeah.
So we do have both. We do have a lot of real men whose stories need to be told more so that there can be more examples of real men. And we also have, because a lot of young people, and that's why I'm glad we're having this conversation, a lot of young people out there are looking for leadership, and they're looking for answers and questions. They have a lot of questions about what is it to be a real man, and they just go with what they either learned from their father, grandfather, what they're hearing from their friends, what they're seeing from TV. But to answer your question, yes, they are real men.
Okay. You can feel free to call us. The number is going to be on your screen. Let us know, what you think real men are. You can also feel free to get in touch with us on Facebook. Our Facebook address is NTVGXP. Our Twitter handle is NTV_GXP. Good morning. Hello?
Hello?
Good morning. Your name and where you're calling from?
My name is Linda, and I'm calling from Kasari. Hi, David. Hi, Astar. Hi, Doctor. Hi, Sonjex.
Hi.
Okay.
Do you think...
Now,
yeah?
I like to agree with Astar on a particular bit of... It depends on how men have been groomed.
Yeah.
I do not know whether... You know, David, very well that, example, Uganda is a really fatherless generation.
Yeah.
Whereas the women are being groomed on how to be women.
Yeah.
There is no teaching the men how to be men. Because majority of the boys, because I'm in this bracket of 25 to 30, this bracket, nobody has told the men how to be men. There are no fathers in these homes. They are too busy chasing something. They are too busy. You know, there is no role model for the men.
Yeah.
You ask them who their role models are, they'll tell you Chris Brown, Justin Bieber. Justin Bieber be a role model for a 30-year-old.
What?
And he's 14. For heaven's sake, he's not even yet 18.
Yeah.
There is nobody telling them. There is no one talking to the men.
Yeah.
I do not the uncles those used to do.
Yeah.
But they're in a limbo, as in they've been launched into the deep. They are learning to swim when you're in the deep end.
Yeah.
So they will end up doing all the crazy things that they are doing in this generation of ours.
Mm.
So I would want to. That's why the church where I go to, the programs called Father's Heart. They are teaching men to be men.
Yeah.
They are teaching them what they are supposed to do.
Yeah.
You know? So I think that we need that. See, whereas they are busy packing the ladies with information, we need to do the same for the men. Thank you.
Let me ask you a question. So you're basically saying you don't think there are enough real men out there?
Yeah?
You're basically saying you don't think there are real men out there?
There are real men out there. But if I can give percentage,
yeah.
Because even the generations behind us, our fathers are not there. So if it is a percentage, I think they are like 30%, and we need to up that.
Well, thank you very much.
They're not. She says they're not enough real men.
Yeah, 30%. Yeah.
Yeah. What makes me think seriously, if she thinks they are no real men, yet she also believes that the uncles should teach the men to be real men, then thank God she at the end said there are some real men.
A few.
Who have
she said let's take the caller. Hello. Hello.
Hello.
Good morning. Your name and where you're calling from?
We are in Masindi.
Yes.
We are in Masindi.
Oh, yes, how's Masindi?
Masindi is good.
Okay, do you think there are real men, in this generation?
Yeah, real men are there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, thank you. So, yeah, real men.
I would like to say, we are talking about real men.
Yeah.
We're not talking about boys growing up to become real men.
No,
and would like to distinguish the fact that are there real men? Because if they are real men, then the real men should teach the boys to become men.
Yeah, but you see now there's the other thing of there are no real men. So who's going to teach the boys to become men?
I think even go back. Let's go back to the foundation of what this question is about.
Yeah.
What is a man?
Yeah.
I think that's where this whole conversation needs to start. What is a man? You understand what I mean? And I think I'll hand it over to. I've been taught some respect by my father. You don't just start talking.
Esther has prompted me to go into a part of the discussions for a bit later. But what is a man? We need to break down what is the definition of a man, because that's where you can't tell someone to become something without telling them what that thing is. Yeah. So we
are going to start from the beginning.
Yeah.
But let's say what the word man means.
Yeah.
Man means a male being.
Okay.
One who is created and is male. As a doctor, I would say one who has XY.
Yeah.
As a man. That one is what comes out directly, a man. You get born, they look at you, they say this is a boy.
Yeah.
And that boy will definitely grow into a man.
Yeah.
Now, I will also, before I tell you what a man is, I want you to understand, just because of what that lady was saying, there's a problem in development. And the maturity of a man, real maturity, will start, men start developing into men from about 26. But they mature, yes, they mature at the age of 35. Then the ladies, unfortunate for us men, they start developing into women at the age of 18.
I'd like to disagree with you on a lot.
No, I'm here to talk both medically and socially.
Yeah.
And then by 23 years, the women have matured.
let me disagree with you on something. Let me take you back, and I won't speak from a cultural perspective, because when again, John Aldrich, I love that book. It's called Wild at Heart. I think it says some really sensible things. So all you guys should go get that book after this. Yeah, but you know, culturally, the what they called rites of initiation, yeah, how you became men, and you were taken through a course, and people became men at 16, and those were responsible men. Okay, they had their flaws, yeah, but they were, I mean, they looked out for their family. They got like the things that quote unquote a man should do. Yeah, you see what I'm saying? Yeah. So for you saying that men develop at 26,
can I just add one thing? Yeah. I think even you're starting late. Yeah. I think you start becoming a man from the moment you're born. If you're not taught how to become a boy, you understand? Yeah. There's absolutely no way you can become a man. What do I mean by that? One of the callers said how there are no fathers. There are no fathers. So from the moment a child is born and the father is non-existent, the chances of that child no matter becoming a man in terms of understanding
the grooming,
it's already wrong. It's already if he's being raised from 0 to 5, and he doesn't even understand what it is to have a man in his house. That's how we're getting a lot of very feminine boys, not even boys, and that's all they know. It becomes ingrained in them until now by the time they're 26, you're trying to unteach 26 years of that. Feminism. I believe that you become a man from the moment you're born, and that's why it is so important. I agree with that caller. There's the biggest problem is a fatherless generation, and fatherless being the father can be present, but he's not
imparting.
Then the father is non-existent, and that can also sometimes lead because of death and because of separation or whatever. But then we also just have fathers who are just not present. But I personally believe it's from birth that you're taught to become a boy. From a boy, you're transitioning from boy to man.
Yes, I agree totally. But what I'm maybe it's unfortunate that you may not understand me the way I'm putting it. Maturity. Now, I'm going to look at things growing. When you are growing into a man and they take you through the system of becoming a man, traditionally, in some cultures they will take you for the knife. Some cultures they will take you and remove your teeth. And many other things that are done to prove to you that you are becoming a man. There is something else that develops in you which makes you a man. The reason why the society decided to say that at the age of 18, somebody transfers their childhood into adulthood, there was a reason. They had seen you develop. There are times you are thinking, but you have not.
But I mean, America has 16.
Yes.
Lots of Europe has 16. So it's not a standard. That's
yes. In Britain, I've seen them saying that girls should be now say you are maturing at 14.
I'd like to support him on this one and say that lots of men mature after 25. Maturity in terms of they know who they are, they know how they are, and women mature earlier than men. And
I'm going to ask a question. Is the problem that, you know, we should say, okay, like, so you'll mature at 25, it's a natural course of things. Or is the thing that, you know, at 25 you've fumbled around, and you're finally, because there are two things, because he said there's an absence of men who are helping people become men. Yes? So if there are men helping people become men, would men be being made at 25?
We are, I would like to say, me personally, as a man, we are just starting to fumble and figure out life at 25.
And part of fumbling is becoming a man. You understand what I mean? Yeah. I like the 18th stage is where the parents say, where you're sort of, you begin to understand whatever you do, you are going to pay for that mistake. You understand? Okay, you want to go and get drunk, no problem. It's you just go get drunk, but don't ask me for the money to go get yourself drunk. You understand? So at that stage from 18, it's like we're given a freedom from being held and supported. It's like 18 or 16 in America. I'll give an example of America. At 16, they're told, now you're paying your own fees, get out. You understand? In Africa, it becomes 18 where you're told, okay, now don't come to daddy and ask daddy for money. As a man, go and understand how to hunt. That's the stage. But however, you needed somebody holding you at that point. Some of these kids have been walking alone from birth. But after you enter this age of 18, I'll use myself as an example. I made so many mistakes, which was part of, it's like I was on my own to understand what is it to become a man. You understand what I mean? But I wish I had somebody at that time, who I could go to, not who's holding me or who's just telling me, understand this. There's a lot of trial and error guessing that we go through. But we don't have to make mistakes. I can learn from other people's mistakes. That's what experience is. People say experience is the best teacher. For me, that's a lie. The best teacher is somebody else's experience. So I come and ask you, so how did you do that? And then I learn from you. So
yeah, you are saying something I always teach my students. The best experience is the best teacher. But the best experience really, okay, experience is the teacher, but the best experience is really somebody else's experience. Because you don't go through the pain.
True that.
Through the pain of getting that experience. Yeah. Somebody else pains and you get it.
Yeah, okay.
Now, we were talking about a man. Who is a man? And we said a man in the Bible.
I'm going to have to cut you short there. We're going to have to go into a break. When we come back, we're going to break down practically, because we're saying, hey man, no one handled you, and I guess there's a problem. There's been a fatherless generation. Now we have to break down for every man watching this show what it means to be a man. What break, like in simple practical examples. I mean, do you have to be aggressive, and to be a man? What things do you have to do to be a man? And we'll be back in just a bit. You're watching GXP. It's interesting the conversation that happens, when the cameras go off. We keep talking, and a lot of things have come up, which we're going to try and repeat, as the show goes on. And just don't forget, you can keep getting in touch with us on Twitter and on Facebook. Our Facebook address is NTVGXP. Our Twitter is NTV_GXP. A couple of messages coming off Facebook. Veronica, you say, I think the real question or wonder should be, are there real men out there, as in actual stuff, not what people see themselves as. On Twitter, Imelda Mogwa is saying there are very few men. The rest are boys with bodies of adults and mentalities and the social outlook of toddlers. And K Massey, you say, maybe you guys should first define who a real man is, and that's where we're going with this. Dr. Dale, what is the definition of a real man?
A real man, like I said before, we have to divide, we have two major dimensions. The first dimension, which is major, is what God wants a man to be, what a man really is. And then the second one is what the contemporary man should be and what the tradition, our traditions make you to be a man. No. I'll start with the most important, which is what God made. At the beginning, I'll go from the beginning. Genesis chapter 1, verse 26. Jesus, together with the Holy Spirit and the Father, because they are one, he says, let's make man in our own image. And we want to give him dominion over all the things that we have created. Now that's where you start knowing what a man should be. Then in 27, Genesis 1:27, it says, so God made man in his own image. In the image of God made he him. Now, he goes on. I want to leave out the part which talks, which maybe if you continue and looked at it. But he says, a man, I want to give him dominion over all my creation. So a man was made. Now, when you go to the next verses, we leave them out. But if you go to Genesis chapter 2, then you see who the man was. God makes him, he takes him out, he says, now I want you to give names even to the animals. And then after that, he says, man is lonely. And so he makes him a woman. Now, when he gives him a woman, he also gives him new responsibilities. So that's where we say who a man really is. A man is made by God to be the leader of his creation. He makes him the leader of his people that he has. Now, he gives him a woman, a wife, and he makes him the head. Now, I would want to read what he says in the last bit that I didn't say, so that we hear what God says about this man.
Yeah.
So God created man in his image. In the divine image, he created him. Male and female, he created them. Now, he gives the man to be the leader. And if we go to Ephesians chapter 5, verse 23, it really states it very, very clearly. The man is the head. But doesn't make him, when you go to this part which says male and female, he created him. Now, takes away the fact that your maleness is not the total issue. Your maleness is just a part of the leadership, but you are the head. So he makes him the head, makes him the protector, he makes him the one who fights for his family. He makes him, now, after the fall, he also makes him the worker. You must sweat to fulfill your duties. Originally, you would not have to sweat to fulfill your duties of looking after your family, protecting your family, and showing direction. But now, he adds something else. You must sweat to fulfill that. Now, why these ladies are saying that there are so many of us who are we are looking like a man, but we are toddlers? Well, it's because we have missed that point. And when I am sure, as we progress, we are going to talk about the women in this box of a man. So the man is a person who knows his position. He must know that he was created to lead. He must know that he was created to provide security. He must provide the needs of his family. And he must provide direction for his children. Now, people are complaining there are no fathers these days. People are not doing the right job just because the men have not taken up their real position of leadership and provision.
Astar.
Yeah, I agree with everything he said, but I'm going to also give it in a different perspective. I don't believe that you have to be a father to have children for you to be a man. You get a lot of the example, and I understand maybe it's given from a father perspective. I'm not a father yet. I don't have any kids. I'm not even a husband yet. But I believe a man, one has to pursue purpose. You have to understand what it is that you're created in this world to do. So you find that out. You find out why am I here in this world? And when you understand purpose, you don't sleep. You're at midday, you want to be found asleep. You wake up to pursue. And when you pursue purpose, the provision comes. As I begin to, I'm here in Uganda doing what clean the air, and from that I'm making my provision. You get, because God put me here for a unique thing. So find out as a young man out there, find out why is it that God created me. You get and this doesn't start when you are, it maybe even start when you're a boy. Pursue it with everything in you. Now another thing that maybe that he hasn't said, real men are not perfect, and a man has to understand that you are not perfect. You are not Jesus. You're not God. You get what I mean? And a lot of men don't talk about their weaknesses. A lot of men don't go to other people and say, by the way, I'm struggling with this. Because from the outside persona, you need to have this wonderful, I have got it all together exterior. That's not what a real man is. Real men make mistakes. But the thing is, they don't stay at the mistakes. They get back up. Perfect examples in the Bible. Think of all the men. The person who God says is after his own heart. A man after my own heart was a guy called David. David did what? He went to his best friend, slept with his wife,
Killed him.
Then decided, let me kill my best friend so that I can get, and then you get, God got so angry with that. But when David realized, and actually, why did David make that mistake in the first place? The Bible says when kings go to war.
Yeah.
That was David's job. That was his purpose. It was time for a king to go to war. What was David doing? He was at the top of his building looking. The devil, an idle mind is the devil's workshop. What happens? The devil entered him and he saw naked woman. And all these things began to happen. So when you don't have purpose and when you're not pursuing this purpose and you don't have something to live for and to go out and be about, the devil checks in. Anyway, what happened when David made a mistake? He understood, my God, I've made a mistake. Sacks clothes, he went back and said, you know what, God, I am down here. I've made a mistake. I need to get back up here. So real men make mistakes. Real men cry. Let me say that. Let me just add that last one. Real men cry.
And he's about jumping, but I'd like to talk about something. Because we talk about purpose, yeah?
Yes.
But also I talk about the heart of a man.
Yeah.
Because a lot of times we have been groomed or brought up, and they're trying to beat down the aggression and they're trying to beat down. There are lots of those things that, the desire to push back and the desire to fight, quote unquote, the desire, and those things are trying to be pushed down because they say, oh, see, gentlemen, you have to be. And I need to talk about that because a lot of people are confused because you find a lot of men saying, look, these are things that I find come to me, they are in me, you get. But now because everyone is telling me they are wrong, I don't know what to do with them. So is it wrong to have,
Can I start off with that one? Yeah. God didn't make every man exactly the same. In fact, I think they're called temperaments. So choleric, I'm a choleric. I'm strong. I'm a fighter. I like having conversations with loudness. You get? But there's a different group of men called melancholics. They are they sit, they listen, they understand, they analyze, and they say one word. And that word is strong enough to capture. It's powerful. It's well thought of. They don't just talk out of the thing. They're sanguines. Sanguines, the life of the party. Very friendly with people and all these things. There's phlegmatics. Very, very quiet. Very quiet. But then when you ask them something, they need to be pushed in a sense. But when you ask them, they say such wisdom that just because you're the loudest doesn't mean that you're always right. You get? So we are different people. We can't say, and God created different people to lead in different ways. Perfect person is Moses. Moses was a very timid leader. However, what did Moses do? Some amazing. Moses was scared. In fact, when God was telling him, go, he's like, no, God, no. David was like a sanguine man. He was like, let's go. So God created different people and men are different. Men are different just because, and it's not by mistake. It is very calculated for God.
Yes, and I'll say what many wise people say, that the strength of a chain is its softness. You look at a chain, for a chain to be very, very strong, it must be very soft. And that is something that our tradition, I want to talk about the traditional man. They want a man who is a fighter, who is tough, who can kill the lion, and many cultures. A man who can go for the knife and doesn't wince.
Yeah.
They cut it and you're just there and you're smiling. Yeah. And they remove your tooth and you're just smiling. Okay? That's what tradition thinks a man should be. But a man is from inside. But as we said before, as long as he knows his purpose, then he can be a man. Now, we are so unfortunate in this era that there are so many things that have derailed men from their purpose. And they have made the men look weak. They have made men refuse to take their responsibility and take up their full responsible position in the society. That's why you see men whom they are calling toddlers, just because they have not taken up their real positions. And then we also have this new issue of women emancipation. Now, people have misunderstood it. Many women have misunderstood having equal opportunities, equal rights, and they equate it to equality. Now, even men, we are here in the studio. If you looked at us, we are, all of us who are here are men. But we are not the same. We are not equal in size, in his age, in even length, okay, height. God made us different for a purpose. Now, so when you have the feminist finding it much more, maybe it is what they may get out, that they have misinterpreted the women's emancipation. They want to come out of the kitchen and be on the forefront. The issue here is knowing your roles. And God made us to know our roles. As long as the men know their roles and they perform their real roles, there would be no weakness.
Well, we'll come back to before we go into some music. Tonjex, you've been quiet. What's the definition of a man?
I think that I cannot add on to the definition of a man, because these guys have said pretty much everything. I just think that we need to understand that as men, we have our roles to play. And what our roles are creates us and makes us be the better men that we can be in our lives and in the lives of others. And I think that I would like to kind of like disagree with Astar a bit and say that all men, whether you are married or not married, you will still be able to have a child that looks up to you. So you, in a way, you'll be a father. You'll be a father figure. There'll be a child in the church. There'll be a child anywhere else. And you'll have to create that father-like figure, that bond with a child, that bond with a person growing up. You'll have to give that opportunity for a person to grow as a man and see you. And I mean, there's so many people that will come to you and want to learn from your experiences, learn from the things that you have gone through. And that just makes you become a better man also in you giving your experience to other people. And I think that that is the thing that we as men don't do, is to talk. And if we actually talked more, we would probably have to solve those issues.
Well, we have to sort of simmer down a bit.
Let me just say this one thing. Also, you don't figure, you don't reach, you don't arrive, you don't now say, I'm a man. I believe it's a lifelong process. I believe there are many men at different stages. You get, I'll give an example. Father, married, different stages. So I don't think, and even when you're married and you have kids, I think they are much older people, or much, not even older. It's not about age sometimes. It's about maturity. It's actually, because you can
That's
have,
the word we use, maturity.
It's about maturity. It's not about age. It's not about now I've passed a certain age. But I don't think you ever reach the point where you can say, I've made it. I can now stop trying to grow as a man. No.
Okay, we'll play some more music. When we come back, take some of your comments on Facebook and off Twitter. Our Facebook address is NTVGXP. Our Twitter is NTV_GXP. Let us know. You'll also be able to give us a call and talk about, what it takes to be a man. Where have the men gone? Apo say, there are no more real men. So we'll be, talking a bit more about that in just a bit. You're watching GXP. Good morning.
If God be for us, who can be against us, Malikuit?
Still on NTV GXP, having a fun time, and we're joined by another person on the show. She was here last week, a very fiery woman of God, Apostle Mary Magdalene Wangui. It's nice to have you on the show again.
Yes, David.
It's very good to have you. How's your stay in Uganda been so far?
I'm very excited, Matoke, of course. It's plenty.
Yes.
I'm very glad.
Likes our chicken. You like our
chicken.
So I'd like to ask you, on the show we've been talking about being a man.
Yes.
And from a woman's perspective, I'd like to ask you, because this is something we've not been thinking about, from a woman's perspective, what does it mean for someone, for you to say that someone is, from a woman's and from a Christian perspective, what does it mean for you to say that someone is a man?
Okay, first of all, I'm saved. Jesus Christ is my personal Lord and Savior. And now I will talk of a man from now, the natural law. What we know previously before I got saved, what I thought of a man to be. I thought of a man to be somebody who can protect me, who is very loving, whom I can feel in the house there is somebody. Even in case a thief comes, there is somebody who can stand at the door and stop the thief for me. Even when we are walking on the way, he's somebody who can stop other people and tell them, this is my wife, don't touch her. That protection aspect. And again, somebody who can provide. as much as I'm also to provide, but so much so I depend on him and somebody who can give me instructions. Because for us, the way we are made is just to receive instructions, receiving instructions, as much as I can instruct. But when the man is there, I think there is that natural role and the godly role that I will find myself submitting. Until otherwise, until otherwise, he shows me otherwise. I'll play my role, I'll serve him very well, but when he proves to me that he's not the man I thought him to be, then I'll be on the other side. And if he's not careful, I'll be the man.
Yeah.
I'll show him the way.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because if he can't take his responsibility, obviously, as an African woman now, let me talk from that perspective, I'll take the role. Because if he's not feeding the children, if he's not caring about me, then what do? Then I take it upon myself that I take the two garments, manhood and the womanhood, and I put them very well, as much as it's not supposed to be so. Because I have come to realize so many women are taking men's role because men are not there. Not that we want to be men, not that we are fighting for equality, but because if the man is not there, what do? Even if the thief come, I will just take a panga, I try and I do what I can. If he's not coming to help the children for studies, what do? I cannot sit there. I will do it. But knowingly, this is not my role. But what do? This is why some men in Kenya are being battered. Because they go drink the whole day, they come in the evening, they want meat, they don't want ugari na skuma, they want meat with ugari, and he has no penny. So what do? He wants money that is kept for the children. So I have to disprove him. Now I'm talking like an African woman, but I'll come to the other one later. I must show him. And this is why some women are taking other men, double dealing. Because if the man is not paying his role, maybe it is in the bed, he's not praying, and he has married you for 20 years. What do? One time you wake up and you go. So this is the mentality every woman has. If he's not there for me, then I'll look for somebody who can be there for me. I'm talking from an African woman perspective.
Okay.
Yeah, if he's not there for me, I'll do it. And if he tries to stop me, I'll walk out. He will not beat me twice. And I'll keep quiet once. The second time, I'll just walk out. Because I cannot be a slave. And remember, there is some freedom spirit that is hovering around and is touching women. There is the change spirit that is hovering and is changing even the mentality of women. And above all, when a woman is now saved, it becomes more difficult. Because the love I so wanted from the man, I will get it from Jesus. I'll get it from Jesus. He will satisfy me. That gap that man was supposed to fill, Jesus will occupy. So I'll find myself going for kesha, for overnight prayers, 12 hours, because even if I'm at home, he's not there. So I'll be lost in the church. And this is why even the marriages are falling apart. Because if I get love from Jesus and I become a minister and I am anointed, hallelujah, and I can pray for somebody and he becomes well, and I can release prosperity anointing and it can hit me back, and I drive a car, you know, David, and I am there, I can buy a plot, then what is of a man? So unless now the Holy Spirit balances me, I will not see the need of man. I'll see him as a bother. Somebody, when I'm praying, who will come and disturb me there. When I'm very anointed, very in the spirit, he comes here. He comes here and disturbs me.
You know, it's exciting to see that, because a lot of times we go out and blame all these things and you know, listen to a woman say, you know, you see, if you're a man and you're not doing as what you're supposed to be doing, there is this ripple effect that's going to you know, come across, you know, and we like, and I had never ever, you know, look at it like that.
I've understood why a lot of Kenyan men are being battered now. Thank you for making it clear. I know what path not to take.
I'm telling you, if you don't want to be battered, pray your role. So I'm not advocating for fight, but you know, sometimes you have no alternative. Somebody, you are sleeping there, somebody has a panga, a knife. I'll kill you one day, I'll kill you one day, I'll kill you. So I'll fear, maybe I'll feel insecure 2-3 days, but the fourth one I'll gather myself and say, I'm not dying here. I am born the way a man was born. It will just take 2 days. He will intimidate me. he will manipulate me. But the third day, and especially when Jesus comes in, he look for me and never get me.
And I'd like to talk about, because he's talking about something in the break, we're talking about dominion and how a lot of men have misunderstood the role of dominion that was you were talking about earlier. So can you just please break that down for us? What does it mean for you to have dominion and to be the head?
Really, God is not saying you are going to have dominion over your wife, your children, your people. He's giving you dominion over everything that he has created. But he gives you something very responsible. I want to read this verse because it really makes it very, very understandable. It is in Ephesians chapter 5, verse, we started by looking at verse 23. I'm going to read it, then I will read something that is in 25, which is very, very important to know what your dominion is all about. But verse 23 says, for the husband is the head of his wife, just as Christ is head of the church, he himself the savior of the body. Now, in 23, he gives the responsibility that he expects from a man. He says, husbands, love your wives,
like Christ loved.
Even as Christ loved the church and handed himself over to her to sanctify her, cleansing her by the bath of water with the word, that he might present to himself the church in splendor, without spot or wrinkle or any such a thing, that she might be holy and without blemish. Now, if you looked at it strictly and said, what is the responsibility of this man?
To his wife.
To his wife. Now, when we are here, much as we are saying wife, we are giving him the responsibility over all the people who are given to him as their leader. He must be loving. And love, I keep saying to people, when he says wives love, submit to your husbands, that's nothing. Submission is so simple. Loving is hard. He says, you love her to death, just the same way Christ loved the church. He died for it, so that he can have it without blemish. Now, when you mean having it without a blemish, it means you are not going to hurt. So, a man who beats the wife, for me, I think they are not men. Those are not men. A man should talk to the wife as an equal. That's why in the verse we read in Genesis chapter 1, verse 27, he equated both. Male and female created he them, meaning they are the equal basis. When you go and see the man being made to sleep and the wife is taken from the chest, the rib, it's because he doesn't want you to make her your footstool. Neither does he want the woman to be the head, the top. He wants you to be at the same level. But one is a head. Being a head doesn't mean you are loading it over the person. So love is the issue here.
There's a part in that verse, and we have to close really quickly because we're running out of time. But there's something in that verse where he said, sanctify them by the word. And I was reading somewhere how this person was talking about if you're a man and you're not elevating someone, you're not helping someone become more godly, then you're missing out on a certain role. If it's your wife, it's your kids. I just felt like I should point that out before we close.
Yeah, because my wife says it so many times that the husband is the spiritual leader in the home. You must be the head, both spiritual and physical, but you are not loading it over the other people. So making yourself, you must be the one to teach the others to fall into line. Now, if the father is not there, or the man is not there to lead, it's terrible. But I wouldn't want, because I may not have the chance again, I want Ephesians chapter 6, verse 4. Because
may I first of all add on that?
Yes.
May I add on that? In the church we have the problem in the church, whereby men have dominated the church. Whereby you see the pastor is a man, the assistant pastor is a man, and women are fixed to be ushers, to be praise and worship team, and they are not trusted with the work of the ministry, and they have been misused. And this is where now Jesus comes in. I'll talk like an apostle now. This is where Jesus comes in, and this is where the problem is with our men servants. That they'll read this verse. The first one, women submit to your husbands, but they don't go further.
Yeah.
And if I have to submit to this man, he must be Christ-like.
Yeah.
So he must also be submitting to another authority. He must love you.
Okay, really
and where can he get
to
love you unless he gets from God?
30 seconds.
Yes,
Yeah.
I just want to read this because it is featured so much, but it has to be brought out. Chapter 6 in Ephesians, verse 4 says, "Fathers, do not provoke your children to anger, but to bring them up with the training and the instruction of the Lord."
Yeah. Astar, last words.
My last words are to all the young people out there. God didn't make a mistake when he created you. He created you to be great. He was very strategic when he made you and formed you in your mother's womb. Yeah. I am a living testimony of understanding that I am the best at what I do in the whole world. And it's not a mistake. God created me like that. Now, God did that for every single young man out there. When you begin to understand why God created you and you begin to walk and begin to do it, slowly by slowly, things will fall into place. So, and how do you find out purpose? One way. There's only one way you connect to the Father through God.
Apostle Wangui, 30 seconds, last words.
I just want to encourage every woman out there that you should not be intimidated by anybody. As much as you are playing your role, you should also respect yourself and have hope. You should not ask for equality. You should just pray to know the purpose of your being alive today, and to respect the man, and to respect the church, and to do what you are supposed to do, and not to intimidate yourself, because most of these things we are not intimidated, but for us we don't have the courage to step out. So step out there. The gift is in you. What man can do, you can also do by the power of God. Pray your role as a mother, pray your role as a child. And to our men, whether you are 2 years, you are a man. Prove to us you are a man, and we have no problem with that. Whether you are 50 years, prove to us. We have no problem with submitting.
I think I need to have you back on this show because I talk about the role of the woman in a man's life. But that's something completely different. Thank you so much for being part of the show, for your messages on Facebook and on Twitter. Totally appreciate it. Astar will be performing in just a bit. Thank you, for contributing, for calls, and for all. And thank you, Dr. Deo. Thank you, Astar. Thank you, also Margaret, for just being on the show and helping us, decipher this. And till next Sunday, bye-bye.
This song is Naweza, but we translated it, the chorus. Naweza simply means I can. And we've been all given gifts so that we can change this world in an amazing way, and it's possible. And it goes a little something like this. We all go through the challenges, trials in life. We all trying to be successful, make it like Mike, Jordan, and Jackson. The question that you need to be asking is, dear Lord, show me my path and where it leads. The pain that brings you down can be your up. Escalators, trials can be the trials that take you higher. Elevators, we were born to excel in our career. Maybe the best of what you do with the time that you're here, yeah. But we here because we purpose. And remember living mediocre lives and feeling hopeless. If we just look up to the sky, to the one who put the gift in us, Emmanuel, aka God with us, yeah. Let's come together, get together. Here's my shoulder, you can lean on when you're feeling under the weather. Chance to live right, positive influence, chance to be the light. You can make a difference. Said I can be my gift to make a difference. Said I can be the one to hold a hand and make a difference. I can be the one to step in and make a difference. I can make a difference. I can make a difference. You can make a difference. We can make a difference. I can, you can, we can make a difference. I can make a difference. You can make a difference. We can make a difference. I can, you can, we can make a difference. To me it seems impossible, so tell me, is it possible? And if so, I'm ready to go, so you can pass the ball. Not the best in the team, but willing to put my all in it. Got a few flaws and fall, but I will quit at it. You see, there's something about me, the one above me, the one who made me. He put something in me, put me in this place down. Out the mouth I spit hope. I hope it's more than just a hit. I hope I hit enough connected to your eyes so you can see all the lies from the one who deceives. Perceive that it's possible, believe in the impossible. impossible, then you and I can see the problem as an obstacle. To come together, work together. Here's my shoulder. You can lean on when you're feeling another weather. Chance to live right, positive influence, chance to be the light. You can make a difference. Said I can be the one to use my gift to make a difference. Said I can be the one to step in and be the difference. Said I can be the one to hold a hand and make a difference. I can make a difference. I can make a difference. You can make a difference. We can make a difference. I can, you can, we can make a difference. I can make a difference. You can, you can make a difference. We can make a difference. I can, you can, we can make a difference. Sobola, 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 I can, we can, you can make a difference. We can make a difference. I can, you can, we can make a difference. Yeah, we can make a difference. We can make a difference. We can make a difference.